Why, oh, why, oh. All right. Today, I will teach you what is Kung Fu. Okay, this is not as complicated as you might think. You probably don't think it's that complicated. Kung Fu. Let's make this quick and easy. What is Kung Fu? It is 6:21. What is Kung Fu? Kung Fu is simple. Kung Fu is the hold up. Kung Fu is building a relationship with the world around you. That's good. Kung Fu is building. That's a D. Fuck. No, we leave it. Kung Fu is. That's my relationship with this pen. I don't care. Building. It's a semicolon. This is a new wave semicolon. Kung Fu is building a relationship with the world around you, around your particular point in it. Now, couple of words to further define here. First, relationship. What do I mean by relationship? What do I mean about relationship? Relationship, again, we're being broad. Don't overthink it, we're being broad. A relationship is just like my relationship with this notepad, with this stack of sticky notes. I'm in relation to it right now. I'm moving it around. I'm writing on it. Me and this pack of post-it notes, not a sponsor. And this sticky note about my Age of Empires 2 build, these I have a relationship with. Okay? Even things that aren't near me. Your family, duh. You have a relationship with them. This pen, I have a relationship with it. Your pen that you hold in your hand, you viewer, the chair you're sitting in, you have a relationship with that chair. Now, if you want to get really crazy, the question is, do I, sitting here, somewhere far away from you potentially, do I have a relationship with the chair you're sitting in? You, stranger I've never met and might not even exist? Yeah, I do. I have a relationship with all chairs. So do you. You have a knowledge of what a chair is. The only type of relationship you might not have, even a chair that you see and you're like, what the fuck is that? I don't know what that is. I don't recognize that. You don't recognize that it's a chair. It looks so weird. It's like some Swedish design, or it's like an ancient archaic chair, or some other thing. And you're like, that's not a chair. You still have a relationship with as a chair. Even if you've like never seen it before, because you know what a chair is. If it's a chair, you have a relationship with it because it's a chair. If it's something else, like a mound, you might not have a relationship with it. Well, you do, because you're on the same planet. But let's not get that crazy. Let's try to stay simple, okay? Okay, relax. What is Kung Fu? Kung Fu is building a relationship with the world around you. What do I mean by relationship? Question mark. Well, I just kind of defined it. Any interaction with it at all. Even on a theoretical sense. Now that's where, Jen would be like, theoretical, that's not actually interacting with something. I've interacted with every chair in the world. Okay? Maybe that seems insane to you, but I feel like it's insane to think otherwise. You walk into a bar in the Himalayas and you see a chair and you're like, that's a chair. You think I'm gonna walk into a bar in the Himalayas and be like, I don't recognize anything that might look like a chair. No, there's gonna be chairs. I'm gonna sit in a chair. I'm gonna be like, that's where I'm supposed to sit. So I do have a relationship with that chair. It's not a deep one. I don't have any serious kung fu with it. I haven't built a relationship with it. I have a relationship, but I haven't had anything to do with building it. Oh, that's our next word, building. Building is interacting with it. You have a relationship with every chair in the world, but that doesn't mean you have kung fu with every chair in the world. That doesn't mean that your relationship is a built thing. It's like a innate thing, your relationship with a chair. Society has done that to you. It's given you a relationship with all the chairs. But you haven't built a relationship with every chair. I don't have kung fu with the bar stool in the Himalayan mountains, in the bar in the Himalayas. I don't know what the fuck. You know what I mean? It's just a chair. I don't have kung fu with that chair at all. I might sit down in that chair and fall over. I might see a chair and think like, oh, I can sit in that. And then I'm like, wait a minute, this is something else. I might. Or I might be like, oh, there's like ants on this chair. I didn't notice that. Like, I don't have kung fu with these other chairs. But I do have kung fu with the chair that I am currently sitting in right now. I've sat in this chair for thousands of hours. I bought this chair from my grandfather's estate sale. This was my nap at family reunions chair. I would nap in this chair at family reunions. And then he died, and I bought it for $12, and it's huge. I have kung fu with this chair. I know how it works with my body and my neck. I have a relationship. I have building conscious. Does the building of the kung fu? It's not kung fu. If the building of your relationship with it is unconscious, it's not kung fu. That's what we'll say. Building is the increase of awareness. Maybe. I don't want to say it's conscious yet. Because as I use this pen, I can pick up a pen and just like use it and then toss it. And while I was using that pen, there was a relationship being built. I was like, when I picked it up, I learned about its weight, right? When I started writing with it, I learned that it has ink. But I'm not like sitting there being like, okay, let's see how much it weighs. Oh, interesting. Okay, next question. How much does it have ink? I don't do that when I pick up a random pen. I just pick up the pen and I'm like, okay, we're good. I just try to start writing, you know? I just pick it up and I'm like, okay, pen of awareness. Right? And then I just toss the pen. Now, this pen, obviously, I have kung fu with because it's mine. And I've been using it for a while now. I know where it came from. I know who bought it. It wasn't even me. But I know where it came from and why it's in my hands. I know how it looks against the white of this paper. I know how it looks in the interior of this book. Maybe I'm not flipping to brown, but I know how these pens look. I know how it feels. Papermate Ink Joy. Okay? I have kung fu with this pen because I have consciously spent energy to build a relationship with this pen. I don't just like randomly a pen I pick up like when I'm at work and I need to sign some kid's chart. I just pick up a pen and I'm like, okay, boom. I'm not building any kung fu. Well, I am, but let's not get into the. That's for later. I'm not like conscious. No, let's remain sane and just say, I'm not building any kung fu with that pen. I'm tossing it. The increase of awareness. I think that's fine for that definition. Building means the increase of awareness. Consciously. Fuck. How do you spell consciously? That's super wrong, but I don't give a shit. Consciously or unconsciously. Unconsciously. I don't. Whatever. The next. Do we have to define the world around you? I think. Okay. Let's now put. Ooh. Let's rewrite Kung Fu's definition. Because I made a mistake. Kung Fu's definition. Can we zoom? Can we zoom? I'm going to zoom. I'm going to zoom. Oh, God. Alright, we're zoomed. I muted it while I zoomed. Oh, I might hit the camera with my pen. Kung Fu's definition. Boom. A conscious... Fuck. I have to look up the freaking spelling. Okay, Google. Conscious. SCIOUS. A conscious... building of a relationship with the world around you or a thing in particular. I could say both. With either the world is like in general or a particular item. With the world in general. Jen. Oh my god, I fucked up. Jen Earl. I looked away. In general, or too many commas. Or, comma, I can do whatever I want. Or what? Or was it or a particular thing? A particular. I'll say particular part of the whole. There's Kung Fu's definition. So, I have Kung Fu with this pen. I have Kung Fu with this chair that I'm sitting in. I have Kung Fu with this desk that I personally designed. I have Kung Fu with this computer, which has its own quirks. For sure. I have Kung Fu with this notepad. I have Kung Fu with notepads of this type, of this brand, because I buy one every year. I have Kung Fu with my plate. It's my particular plate. I've had it for years. I have more than one plate, but I have one plate that I like. It's my most used plate. I have Kung Fu with my bathroom. When I walk into my bathroom, I pay attention to what's happening. I've learned how my toilet acts. I've learned how my shower works. Haven't you learned shower Kung Fu? Don't you know the right way to use your shower? Don't you have a general understanding of how long it takes for the water to get hot? Don't you have an understanding of where you like the knob? Where's your prime temperature? There was one time I drew a line with Sharpie paint with a paint Sharpie, like on my perfectly desired temperature. I didn't stick on that line. You don't have to stick on the line, but I drew the line there, just so I could like learn. I go, well, I want it a little bit colder today. How much to the left is colder? Or how much to the right is colder, depending on the shower. Because every shower is crazy. Don't you have shower kung fu? You do have shower kung fu. Now, it might be kung fu now because I just told you about it. Because now you're conscious of it. You do have an awareness. You do have a relationship. Let's put keywords. Key words. This might be a good idea. Building, no, they're all keywords. But relationship. You have one with your shower. You have one with your front door. You have one with your car, if you have a car. You have one with your hair, or lack of hair. You have one with your body. You have a relationship with these things. Now, there are people in the world who do not have kung fu. They do not have kung fu with their body. They do not have kung fu with their car. They do not have kung fu with their chair. They do not have kung fu with things. Okay? I don't know if there are. If you have like a negative view of the world, then you would definitely believe like, yeah, these fuckers, these assholes, or these people, or these like exhausted workers, or whatever, like however you want to, like whatever group you think might have only an unconscious relationship with their body. These zombies. I don't think that those exist, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is that there are things that you have relationships with that are unconscious. Like you're not thinking about them that much. Like the pen. Remember the pen I picked up at work and I signed a kid's chart and I tossed the pen and I never used it again? That's not a conscious relationship with that pen. I didn't take the time to like examine the ink, the way the ink dries, the way the pen feels as it moves across different textures and papers. I didn't spend the time to think about that. I had an unconscious relationship with that pen. This pen that I'm holding in my hand, I have a very conscious relationship with. Now, when I tell you that you have kung fu with your shower, you do. Even if you were unconscious about your relationship with your kung fu, you're not anymore. I just told you about it. You'd have to have an unconscious relationship with this video to not have shower kung fu now, or whatever it is you use. And that's it. That's all kung fu is. That's all kung fu is. Now, what you will realize as you practice kung fu, and remember, kung fu is just conscious. And when you sit down in your chair, the next time you sit down in your chair and you're like, I paid more attention to that chair than I did before. You say, that chair kind of gave a little bit in this area. I didn't know it was weak over there. Do I like that? Do I dislike that? Every single time you sit in your chair, are you conscious? Are you paying attention? If you do, you're building kung fu. It might be slow. I don't know. I don't know your speed, your kung fu speed. It might be quick. You might be the goat of building kung fu. Who gives a shit which one of those two you are? It doesn't matter. The point is that you're building kung fu if you're conscious. Which is easy to do. I've already said that. I don't think there is unconscious, I think everybody's conscious. That might be a radical statement to say in modern society where everybody thinks everybody else is a piece of shit, roughly speaking. They're all over Twitter, so they believe that shit. But I don't have to. I don't have to believe you're the same shit you believe. That's my kung fu, maybe. What you will find when you're practicing kung fu. How do I want to word this? Let me rephrase this. If you're sitting there thinking about, like, okay, I'll start practicing kung fu with my sink. My sink is different than everybody else's sink. I'll practice kung fu. Learn about it. How does the water pressure feel? How much air is it? Is it predictable? Is it not? Is it stream? Is there bubbles? Where do I have to turn it before it gets too hot for me to be touching it? How do I, when I'm putting water in the water filter for drinking later, I got to turn it to the cold. When I'm using it to clean a dish, I got to turn it to the hot. How long does it take to get hot? These are the types of kung fu you can use when you go to the sink, when you wash dishes. If you wash dishes, maybe you use a washing machine, and guess what? That's kung fu. You can have kung fu with your washing machine. What you realize when you practice kung fu, when you start practicing it enough, is that all of the kung fus are kung fu. Every single time I am conscious about sitting down in my chair and I'm building a kung fu with my chair, and my chair evolves over time. It's getting creakier. It's getting older. It's already an old ass chair. It's really huge. When it reclines, it like reclines a little bit. I have to be a little bit more careful putting weight back on. I have to like kind of jiggle it a little bit before the hook that holds the feet support up. I have to jiggle it a little bit. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, it's because you don't have kung fu with my fucking chair. Every time I sit in my chair, I build kung fu with it. And what you learn is that that's building kung fu with everything. When you wash dishes, you are building kung fu across the board. Now, there are two levels this goes on. Levels of interconnectedness. Okay, levels of interconnectedness. Let's say that there are two. I'm going to move the mic. One. What's one? Building kung fu makes you better at building kung fu. So practicing kung fu. So what this means, when you wash dishes consciously, when you consciously wash dishes and are building a relationship with washing dishes, with your dishes, with your sink, with your water pipes, like with your system, bro, with your house, with your hands, like maybe I'm getting more used to hot water. Practicing, when I build kung fu with washing dishes, I'm practicing kung fu building. This means that later on in life, when I move maybe and I come across a new sink, my practice building kung fu is going to help me build kung fu with the new sink. Right? I already have like, ooh, this is better about this new sink. Or, oh, I like this worse than that last sink. And maybe the next time I move, I get to design my own sink. Or my own bathroom. Or my own shower. Right? But the point is, when you practice kung fu, you're not just like practicing kung fu of washing dishes. You're practicing. Okay, and that is a terminology that's been in sports for a long time. Practicing. But I'm just sort of, it's smart. When you're practicing kung fu with washing dishes, the next time you build kung fu with a pen, you'll be a little bit better at building a relationship with that pen. Because you'll be a little bit better at building relationships at all. Right? That's one level of interconnectedness, and I don't think that that's like a deniable level. You can't deny like When I practice tennis, I'm also practicing like good health. Right? When I'm practicing kung fu with my chair, I'm practicing kung fu with another chair. They're connected in that way. And when I'm practicing kung fu with my chair, I'm practicing kung fu with like other. Anytime I'm building kung fu, I've practiced building kung fu. The second level. This is the second level of interconnectedness in kung fu. This is a little bit more like debatable. You could think it's stupid. Maybe it sounds. Maybe you disagree with this violently. But the sentiment of it is that all the kung fus are the same kung fu. Washing dishes and this pen and my TV remote and my anything, my car, they're all one kung fu. But, you know, the point is to start with this. This is an undeniable one. Even the most, I don't know, pragmatic of people can be like, okay, but practicing baseball, if you really get used to practicing baseball and then you switch to soccer, or then you switch to like chess, the techniques and things that you've figured out about yourself while practicing baseball are going to help you at practicing chess, and you're going to improve at chess faster than you would have if you had not improved at baseball, or if you had not practiced baseball, or if you had no baseball kung fu. Okay, that level one, come on, that's everybody that exists. That should be reason enough for you to start practicing kung fu, to make like an effort. Be like, dude, I know fucking kung fu. Because you do know fucking kung fu. You know shower kung fu. Anybody who says kung fu is martial arts is a fucker. You don't listen to anything they say. Well, you can listen to everything they say, really. You can practice kung fu of them. Kung fu of them. Like your relationship with them can be a kung fu. Whoa. Am I getting crazy here? Let's end it here.